Oh. There is just so much commotion inside this house. There's one thing I wanted to talk about today. Is that limitations produce creativity. Now, it's not so cut and dry that it always does, or that you always have to have limitations to be creative. But it's often one of the ways that you have to be creative in order to produce what you want to. A real thing that's happening in my house right now is that our kitchen is being demolished and redone. We had to bring everything from the kitchen down to our basement, where we already have a fridge and we have a sink, but we have to use like a crock pot, we have to use an air fryer, we have to use a Bill's Mafia fold-out table. My mom, who is the main cook of the family, has to cook in the corner, and we all, while we help her with dishes and clean up and stuff, have to work in that corner. My poor dog is right here, and her bed is now down here. Mudroom right there. But one thing is that I think all of us are just very grateful and fortunate to be able to afford to have and to use a new kitchen that'll come and be built within the next month. We just have to kind of sit with this uncertainty, this mess, this noisiness, and just be creative with the environment that we have. I myself can't really work off my room because my room is right above the kitchen. The basement is right below the kitchen, but there's a little bit more diffusion of noise, I guess, if you want to call it that. So now you get to see my basement, a blown out window in the back, but I'm using what I have. I have to now really make sure my personality comes through. And one thing I did when I first turned on this camera was I didn't have a script, I just had an idea and I just wanted to riff. Because sometimes in these videos I also come in with a really well-written script, and that has its own purpose and its own space to be used. But for right now, I just wanted to show that, like, as limited as possible, I mean as limited as you will be in whatever endeavor you have, being creative is going to come out of that. I know one thing that I had to be really creative with in the past month or so with these videos is just the fact that I don't like to vlog outside, unless it's with my friends or something like that, where I'm comfortable being around them and I'm comfortable being entirely myself, supported by other people around me. So doing talking heads in my room, in my bedroom, is something that I have been able to adapt to and just figure out that I am able to do that. There's of course a lot to be said about when you're given things, when we finally have this kitchen, how much better the space will be, how quick dishes can be washed, how effectively and efficiently food can be cooked and made. But it's this in-between period that really shows discipline, and it shows just how much you can use what you have. Being able to use what's at your disposal really shows what you really want out of this, what you can really do, and the gift that God has given you to carry out what you can. So today I'm just grateful to have a basement, to have food, and to have a place that I can still film and still live in, despite the noise, the mess, and the clutter. That is all I have today. Limitations produce creativity, and I will see you next time for a surprise video content next week. See ya.